Hi everyone, welcome back to
Sorry, sorry. Okay. Give me a second, sorry.
That's Nemo.
Hi Nemo.
Sorry, I forgot to screen share, but it's fine. We can do a live again now. Just now because I exit out from JC to share the screen. Just give me a second, sorry.
Like question, which is we are
Hang on, repeat. Two, one.
Hi, welcome back to ADEX Pixel Virtual Expo. And today we have the honor of having two very important individuals from um, SSI. So we have here Mr. Jean-Claude Monachon from Switzerland, the SSI Vice President, and also Ms. Corinna Davids from Austria, which is currently now in South Africa. Uh, the SSI Asia Pacific Service Manager and also International QMS Manager. So today, both of this individual will be discussing and sharing with us a little bit more about how SSI can provide with regards to solutions in a time of crisis. So I'll leave it over to JC. Will you be presenting first? Okay, go ahead, JC.
All right, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are in the world. Currently in Switzerland, it's 1:30 in the afternoon, so I know for some of you in Singapore or in Asia, it's already the evening, so hope you will enjoy this moment with us. Very happy to be here with my colleague Corinna. We are always looking forward to support the ADEX show because I think this is a great initiative that the team, that John has launched, and with the ADEX Pixel Virtual Expo. I think it was 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago that it was started, and I think the events, the presentations, the interaction is actually very good and keeps everybody also enthusiastic into our free diving, mermaiding world. So excellent and very glad to be here. Well, let me start by sharing my screen, and let's go over that. So yes, basically when all this situation started last January, when we were the first time confronted with this virus situation, obviously nobody was really prepared, and since we are very well connected with the Chinese market, we knew basically 22nd of January that something was happening, and we were in front of a blank page. It is like when you have to write a scenario, you have to think, okay, what are we going to do now? How are we going to support our members, our training centers? How are we going to be able to travel or not travel? So in the world, as it is now, many countries are in a different situation. Some came early into a lockdown situation. Some are already out, like in China, they are out of this situation, and we can already see that people are enthusiastically going into the water, doing training. Free diving was probably the first part that was restarting, and so on. And some countries in Europe start to reopen now, and but the world is a little bit changed. So we had to think on how we could provide our part and make sure that everybody would be keeping motivated during that time. So let me just, something is not, all right, okay. So what we were thinking is, and what we are saying actually, is that there is a chance in every crisis. And anytime there is a crisis, no matter which type of crisis there are. I mean, look, Indonesia, for example, over the past 2 or 3 years, there have been so many things happening. The volcano, tsunami, whatever happened there, everything happened, I think, in Indonesia, and they were still there standing, and we were supporting the training centers to really overcome these difficult times. Now, in the whole world, things are different, and we need to adapt, but we think that we are a team, and as a team, we are also able to really provide the support and make sure that we can overcome this situation. So our main focus from the beginning on was really to provide tools. And when a person or when a training center, when a diver, whoever gets into a situation like that, in a crisis situation, they start to think about themselves. They start to realize that something is different. Well, they can be definitely in a situation where you have a lot of, let's say, demotivation. You put your head in the sand. You don't know what to do. You are probably also in a moment where you have to motivate yourself and think about your past and your future and also of your current time. So we really tried to support as much as we could by bringing this, let's say, this idea of having the right mindset in this situation. Because no matter as it is, we have to overcome it, and we need to make sure that we see the chances that are there to really move ahead with this situation. And that was really our main focus for the past months. And I would say, luckily, since it started in China, we had already a good possibility to learn from the situation there. We had the possibility to try and test and make different things, but as it is in the world, we did not really think it would come to the rest of the world. So even though we were knowing that it was something to be done, we didn't really start by doing all the things we could have done in between, let's say, January and March, when the majority of the countries started to be in this lockdown situation and having to face, let's say, closing of shops, of centers and countries. So I would say we lost a little bit of time, but we were still, I would say, half ready for taking fast decisions. So I'm not going to talk about the COVID-19 because I think we are all fed up about listening to that, and it's there. And as we were talking a few minutes ago between us, I think it is there, it will stay here, we will have to live with that, and we will have to adapt. So this is also why we think that life will never be exactly the same. And the longer it takes, then the longer, I would say, people will take that into their habits, and they will have to change their habits, definitely. So this means that there are several opportunities that are opening there, but of course, we would say that you need to adapt, and you need to adapt fast. If a person is not open to change, if a person is not really having the right mindset, then it will be super difficult to adapt the business situation, to adapt the way of dealing with divers or non-divers, to attracting new people. So that's why we needed to really take care of that. And that's what we did. So, as I said before, people were in this situation by putting their head on the sand. You have a lot of business owners, obviously, that were for a certain period of time definitely not able to move out of their sofa. They were sitting and thinking, okay, what can we do now? Life is bad. We are losing all our customers. We cannot go diving, and we change our life to be having a passionate life and doing something that we like to do. So we had first to overcome that situation. And I think that our aim was to really engage the communication with everyone, really on a large scale, worldwide, and I will cover that a little bit later. But definitely that was our focus, because you have to really be supportive in such a situation. Plus, if you are supportive in a situation like that, and you see the receptiveness of the people, then obviously it's motivating us too. So it was a reciprocal thing. We were really having so much, and we still have so much exchange with worldwide centers that and divers, of course, too, so that we really see that we get benefits out of that, and it is a difficult situation, but definitely there is a moment where you need to move. You need to put energy into yourself and really decide to change your point of view. So, as I said before, in any change, there is also a chance. And if you also look at the, let's say, the two texts that exist in China, there is always something that says there is, in any crisis, there is an opportunity. And I think if you are a little bit connected to, let's say, management seminars, marketing seminars, and motivation seminars, it is very often used in that sense that there is always a door that gets open. Now, of course, some people take always advantage of that, and they maybe do something a little bit illegal, whatever. So we have seen everything, and you have always these opportunistic people. We were thinking that definitely there is a chance, and luckily, I would say 6 years ago, 5 years ago, our group from HEAD was really putting a lot of efforts to have SSI becoming a digital company. And I think we were very fortunate to have done this step 5 years ago, to be ready to actually face a situation like that, even though we were not planning to have it. But definitely that was definitely the our luck in that. So we wanted to prove to the world that we have something that we can launch directly. So what we did, actually, we had a plan somewhere in our, I would say, in our back part. We were thinking of launching a program that we would teach the centers, the pros, to work with digital means. SSI has another program called the SSI Scuba U, the Scuba University, which is actually a 3 days program that we run not virtually. We run that in a classroom usually, or in a hotel seminar room, and we teach the centers how they can deal with their customers. We teach how we can present the material, how we can, everything is there really to make, let's say, the business happening in a friendly way with the customers. But we had something else in preparation, which we wanted to launch in a similar way, and which is called the SSI Digital University. Now, due to these events, we were actually forced to launch it in a different way. And since it was digital, then instead of going in a classroom or going in a hotel room, then we said, okay, that's the time now. We cannot wait anymore. Let's do it. Let's use the virtual world and really help and support our centers and the pros to go into this direction. So we based our all SSI Digital University on 3 elements. And I think something was not coming in the slides, but basically the 3 elements are very simple. The first one is mastering yourself. So as I said before, you need to be ready with your mindset to be open to change the way you do, let's say, the business, but also change the way you see let's say, the diving, the free diving, the mermaiding, snorkeling world, because things are changing. And even though you can have all the programs of the world and all the education of the world, if you are not open-minded, if you keep your head in the sand, then definitely you will not be able to, let's say, absorb what we were teaching. And so that has been really one of the first part of the program. And from time to time in this program, we come back with this element. No later than today, we had a group with a Chinese person in China and outside of China. And we were doing, let's say, a mindset session as well. So to make sure that everybody is on the same page, everybody keeps the motivation ongoing. The second part is the SSI connectivity. SSI, which has my SSI as a tool that is provided to every training center, which is actually the dashboard and the base that every center can use, is full of, I would say, elements, but also full of surprises. And our centers, they needed also to have a refresh to use all these elements, how to use with the database, how to use all the marketing tools that are in that my SSI toolbox, actually. So we really worked on that heavily, and Corinna is going to cover that also a bit later. And then the third part is the digital black box. The digital world is changing on a daily basis. Unfortunately, I would say you can do a lot of things that are, I would say, more or less free of charge or cheap, and you can do a lot of marketing. You can gain a lot of presence in the social media if you are active, if you put the resources in there in terms of time and efforts, and then you can increase your presence, increase the communication with your customers, increase the communication with non-divers or reactivate divers. So we actually shared a lot of tools that are in this digital black box, and we make sure that we bring our training centers and professionals also up to speed with that, so that we create education session for them to really understand what is in there, and we make it always in a way that it is very simple. We are digging into the, let's say, the digital world to have the best tools for them to be adding a new facet of their business, because they work on, let's say, compressors, on maintaining the equipment. They have a sales floor. They sell equipment. They teach courses. They guide divers or non-divers. They bring them in the water. So it's so multifaceted that the marketing part is definitely an important part. But we actually help them to gain or create value for their customers or new leads, and create a bonding session with all the divers around the world. So that was basically the idea behind that, and that's how it was launched. So actually, since I would say since March 20, we launched these programs over the world. So we have on a weekly basis, and usually twice per week, we have, in an alternate way, we have the SSI connectivity part, where we really show how to use the system, but we also remastered their various programs to make sure that they would fit the actual situation. So we show them how to use My SSI and how they can maximize it. Then we have the SSI Digital Black Box, where we really provide a full education on digital marketing. We help training centers and divers, free divers, mermaids, snorkelers, swimmers. So we basically cover all the parts that we have in our portfolio, I would say, to connect. So first, we definitely worked with the ones that were ready. So we were gathering a lot of testimonials of, I would say, happy people in all over the places of the world. And then this motivated also others, and there are still more to come, I would say. So what we did immediately, we made sure that our marine ecology programs would be available digitally, because you do not need to be a diver, you do not need to be a free diver or whatever to participate in such a program. So our training centers have been able to really promote these programs all over the world. Think about a person that is sitting at home with the whole family. They cannot go out. They have this lockdown situation. Netflix is certainly a nice thing to have, or being on YouTube the whole day. But you also want maybe to invest a little bit in learning new things. I always personally think that every person should invest 1 hour per day to learn something and then implement it. So imagine the time you can spend in a year on learning new things. So we made all these 6 programs completely digital. The exams are digital. So a person can be sitting with the family at home and really doing this program 100% free of, I would say, free of moving somewhere. Now, these programs do not ask you to be going into the water. Of course, they will learn something about sharks, about manta rays, and so on. So for their future dives, we want them to go in the water. But to be certified, you just need to follow the digital program, fulfill a digital exam, and have a connection with the center. So the center will teach the program also virtually. So meaning that we keep the dream going on. That's the main goal. So people can still be super motivated in going into the water. And look, if you are locked down at home and you maybe not even have a balcony or the way to, let's say, to go and walk around, having still the possibility to keep the connection to the underwater world is something really fantastic. So we have a huge success with that, because people really grabbed that idea, but also I would say professionals really came into that program and became certified if they were not. So we really gave them the opportunity to be having all the tools they needed to be teaching this program. So we actually supported the instructors, and we gave them the free marine ecology instructor specialties so that they would be really able to teach these programs. Then one other part, another program that can be also obtained, let's say digitally. Okay, you have a few others, but we really pushed into the enriched air nitrox 32 program, because in the world, this is probably one of the most popular specialty. People want to dive with nitrox, and there are still thousands and thousands of divers that did not have the opportunity to be certified in that. So we made it also so accessible that every diver in the world would be able, through their dive centers, to follow a course and be certified as enriched 32 diver, meaning that the moment they will go back to the dive center, they will already have this certification. They will not lose time to be certified again. So they will go and take advantage of diving with nitrox. So that was the really one other program that we made 100% digital too. Ultimately, we were thinking that divers are not always having all the knowledge in diving. Depending on the level, they want to know more. And some divers, they were maybe not active for a long period of time. So what we offered to the community was actually the Science of Diving program. So we launched April 1st, more or less it was April 10, I think. We launched the completely free of charge Science of Diving kit, meaning that a diver can go into our website and start this program directly. The center will have to choose, obviously, a training center, and the training center will propose different options, either having additional virtual classroom sessions, maybe additional continuing education programs, and really having a possibility to work with these divers. So the uptake is really there, because what we wanted to achieve is that if someone was, let's say, open water diver and has time, then we wanted to give them the opportunity to learn everything about Science of Diving, all what is behind the scene on that. That's theoretical. So there you do not need to go into the water. So we basically said, no water, no problem. We can do something for you. We can provide you some additional training. And I would say that this program has showed that there was a necessity and an expectation also from the diving community. We have, I would say, close to 40,000 people that now in less than a month basically have started this program, coming from everywhere in the world. And we see that they really are active, because we can monitor, and every center can monitor their progress. They can talk to their customers over Zoom, over whatever program they want. And we see that they are following by obtaining the certification. So at the end of the day, I would say after this period, after June 30, we will probably have thousands and thousands of divers which will have a better knowledge about the theory in diving. So I think we have there chosen a program that was perfectly fitting the connection between, let's say, a diver and the training center. So this will continue, and of course we can see that we have really a lot of people enjoying that program. We are getting a lot of positive testimonials. Some are going to enter the job as a diving professional after that, because they will already have this knowledge, which is always important to have in terms of theory. So that's what we really launched there, and the community has been extremely thankful for that. So we said it's time to get ready. We want to make sure also that every center is really ready on that. Now, coming back maybe to the way we were going to the centers, we told them that they need to leave their comfort zone. they cannot stay in, let's say, in their home, not having the opportunity to open their dive centers. Some do have the opportunity now, luckily, and we see immediately the number of people coming into their centers. But you have plenty of resorts. You cannot travel there, so we don't know how long this will take. So they needed really to leave their comfort zone. So we pushed them, of course, a little bit, but we gave them the tools to do that. So we explain how we can communicate with the diving community or free diving and etc. So that was really our role. So I think we explained that they needed to have a plan, but we also gave that plan. We gave a lot of suggestions, and because we did that all over the world, I mean, I think as of today, we have been running close to 200 webinars or Zoom seminars over the world. Sometimes you need to use Zoom because of the interaction you want to have, and sometimes you use another system to just do a presentation. But we provided them with guidance, we gave them a plan, we provided them the education, and we did that in more than 25 languages. So I think this is absolutely phenomenal what we did here. And that was really our share to the diving community, to provide as many tools as possible, using our resources, using our time, to support anybody in the industry, because we want to make sure that divers will go back to the dive centers, and we wanted to make sure that pros would be really together with the training centers. And we see the moment it is getting open, we see immediately that this has been very positively received by all the diving community. So of course, for that, you need to change your thinking. And that's why we really insisted in having a lot of talks and having a lot of exchange. We didn't do only presentation, let's say one-way presentation, just filling the head with knowledge. We wanted also to follow every webinar with personalized conversation with the training centers, so to make sure that they were able to implement that. And we still continue to do that. It's not over. And we still have, I would say, in an average, about 4 webinars per day. And we do not count if it is Saturday, Sunday. We do that on an ongoing basis. I think our life, if I take my example, I was traveling a lot. I think since 8-9 weeks, I'm basically around the clock in the virtual world, and my colleagues too. And we really have had so many exchange, so many possibility to talk to so many people that I think we would not have had this opportunity otherwise. I think I like the dive shows because the dive shows are providing this opportunity, and that's where we have the possibility to see so many people at once. But now, when you have an average, I don't know, of 200 people in a presentation, in a Zoom call, then it becomes really interesting. And then you make that a little bit smaller, you have smaller groups, and you have a closer interaction. I was just finishing now a French Zoom call. We had something like 35 people around the world speaking French-speaking centers, just to consolidate some of the knowledge they have been receiving. So this is really positive. So we give the tools, but we also help them to implement the tools, and that I think this has been extremely positively received by them. But as I said, you need to have the right feedback. So actually, from a situation where you would say, okay, we are in a dying situation, we don't know where we go. I think we brought to the industry the revival mode, the survival mode first, but now we gave them perspectives on how to really get the heartbeat going and really make sure that they would be having the energy that they need to have to overcome that situation. And also you need to monetize what you do in terms that you are able to pay your bills, you pay your employees at the end of the month. So it cannot only be value, it needs also to have sometimes the possibility to earn some money. And instead of, let's say, giving discounts left and right, where everybody would suffer more, we decided to provide value. And we provided a lot of value, a lot of tools that they have been able to implement. So I'm talking about training centers, but which created this value also for the divers or non-divers by giving them the access to a digital program. Because if they can take let's say, a marine ecology program and pay for that because they still have money to spend, as a committed diver, you like to learn something, you want to support your center, and you want to go back to this diving environment as soon as possible. Then, instead of creating, I don't know, funds that people would pay some money or whatever, we gave them the tools, we gave solutions for divers, meaning that we kept the dream there. So I think this has been much more valuable than anything else that we could have done. So, and we modify and adapt the program on a weekly basis based on the needs of a particular region. And so far we have had more than 10,000 participants in our webinars. And we are talking about professional centers and professionals. So that's a new way. It's a new life. Things will be different, but I think what we also gave to the centers was the possibility to keep the connection with their divers and customers around the world. So this tool or these suggestions, what we have brought to them, can also be used in a low season, in winter. So that's we have been working also for the future, not only for the actual situation. So again, we want them to be really positive and stay positive. And I think everybody should think positive. And we said also stay away from negative people because they have always a problem for every solution. So our motivation is really to be positive in that sense. All right, I would say now I will pass the word to Corinna. I will stop sharing.
Hello, everyone. I'm here. Yes. Hi, everyone. Hello from my side as well. So I'm going to show you a little bit more what's happening on our website and also how you can get to the free programs and all the things that JC just talked about. And yeah, all the things that we also, like some other things that we still provide. So we've really been pushing hard from the side of SSI to provide solutions for all sides. So obviously we have those webinars, so more than 3 webinars that go out to the customers, to the dive centers directly. But we also do a lot, all our service centers do a lot of one-on-one webinars, finding out, we try to speak to all the people on a personal basis, finding out what their exact problems are. So we can also help them with finding solutions to their exact problems. So maybe there's some things we don't think about, or because we I'm in South Africa, JC is in Switzerland, or we have a lot of people in Germany, in the US, because we sit in different places, maybe we don't see a problem in a certain market. So we really try to stay in contact as much as we can to find solutions to upcoming problems and more, because nobody really knows what's happening. Nobody knows when we fully open up again. This is such a new situation. Even governments change their mind on a daily basis. So it's very important for us to really stay in communication. So we stay in direct communication with our dive centers, but we also try to provide some value for our customers. So for the end consumers, for divers. So we also go on our Facebook pages, on our social media pages. We try to bring some industry influencers and do similar things like ADEX is working so hard to do here. We're trying to do similar things. So we are hosting Facebook Lives with some industry influencers. So like we do Fridays for free diving, Sundays for scuba diving, and we also host tech talks on Tuesday for the extended range side. So we try to bring a bit of value really to everyone out there. What I want to show you now at first is the Science of Diving program that JC just talked about. In my opinion, me as an instructor certifier with SSI, I've been diving my whole life. Science of Diving is one of the best programs we've ever brought. because you get really very amazing in-depth knowledge in all parts of diving. Physics, is it really everything that you need to become a dive professional, but it's also super amazing knowledge for everybody above open water. So I want to just show you quickly how to get there. So if you go onto our website, screen sharing here. If you go onto our website, so divessi.com, it's really easy. So you go on our landing page here. If you just go right into scuba diving, actually it will come in the scroll. But if you go into scuba diving, you will find here the free Science of Diving campaign. The amazing thing about this, everybody that's watching here, everybody that's going to watch this video after, everybody that is an open water diver, no matter the agency, we open this up to everybody. If you're a dive pro and you haven't done a lot of knowledge in a long time, you forgot some things. Everybody forgets things. And you might just want to freshen up your knowledge. Come and just check this out. It doesn't cost you anything. You can read the materials for free. And you can also get in contact with dive centers close to you. So we use this program because it has such good knowledge, such good information. And this will just make divers safer in general afterwards if they really listen to this. So you can just go here, and when you come to this, you can just click the Start Now button and you can sign up for it. You don't have to go to our website. You can just download our app. We have this My SSI app. You can just go into iOS or into the store, into the Google store, and just download our app. It's called My SSI. There you can sign up directly and you can start this program. It's such a good program. Again, me as a dive professional, one of my favorite programs ever. And we're trying here to also let you find a connection with the dive center. Maybe you're at home, maybe usually you're a holiday diver, but now you decide, okay, Science of Diving, this sounds interesting, doesn't cost me anything to check it out. You can find a dive center close to you and maybe find a new community, a new diving community. In the end, we're really just working very hard to keep this industry alive. The diving industry is obviously one of the industries hit the hardest with all of this because we work so much in travel. Diving is not an essential service. It's something that is leisure. And we really want people to just enjoy and think about diving. Just continue to think about it, okay? So for all the people out there that haven't yet, go on to divessi.com/keep-diving. You can go here or just download the app and check out the Science of Diving program. It's so easy. It doesn't cost you anything to start. Find a dive center close to you. You can contact your dive center for certification. You can get in touch with any dive center to take online classes about it, to explain you a little bit more. And it's a really great program. And the next thing, if you're ever thinking of becoming a dive pro, Science of Diving in SSI is actually a mandatory course. So we're actually giving you a part of our mandatory professional training for free. So usually it's a paid course and usually it's not a cheap course. So go ahead and check it out. Even if you don't want to do it right now, you can sign up now and the program will stay yours. So it will not get charged at any point. So if you say, I want to maybe do Science of Diving in half a year, not now, sign up now, you'll get it for free, and in half a year you can finish it. So SSI is trying to really help you out there with this. And we do the same. If you look here, dive centers close to you, the ecology programs that JC was talking about earlier, you can sign up here, find a dive center. I will show you in a second how you can find the dive center for you. But you can find it and really keep diving in mind. Think about marine life. So we just really want you not to forget about diving. In this crazy situation right now, it can be scary. And we believe that talking about marine life, just thinking about diving can really give you comfort in this time. So this is that. Another thing I want to show you, and this is one of the coolest, newest things that we've recently done. This is our feature called My Dive Guide. SSI has been working tirelessly for the last, I think it's been almost 2 years now, to create this feature. And this basically is a database of dive sites and dive centers worldwide. We have worked with all our centers, all our service centers, our whole community of so many centers, more than 3,000 centers worldwide. to really get dive sites. Just find the dive sites, log the dive sites, create descriptions, create marine life descriptions for every dive site in the world. And what this does, we can show you here. So if you just go again on the Dive SSI website, and you can just go on My Dive Guide, it's the first feature here, or you can just go on the direct so divessi.com/My Dive Guide, you will find this page. So we want to keep you dreaming. We want you to think about your next holiday right now. I know every diver, I'm one of them, has a bucket list. You have a bucket list of things you want to see. Okay? Somewhere up there is really cool things like manta rays, humpback whales. Mine is a humpback whale that's still coming. And you have that bucket list and you want to know where you can check off that bucket list, right? So what we did in My Dive Guide, not just is it a feature where you can find dive centers and dive sites, you can figure out which country you want to go to next. One of my favorite features, my personal favorite features, is the wildlife feature. So I really want to see, for example, a seal. Okay, so I can come here. There's more wildlife features here. So you can find more than 200 different wildlife here. But I want to see a seal, for example. I will click on seal, and what SSI does, it will bring you to the next page where it shows you, it brings up a map. First of all, it tells you a little bit more about seals and the different types. But now it brings me that map where it shows me the dive sites where it's most likely for me to find a seal. So I can now here see all of these dive sites. But furthermore, once I click on a dive site, let's say I'm currently in South Africa, so I'm clicking on this dive site. It will bring me to a dive site and it will show me which dive centers it can bring me there. And it works like this in all directions. So if I find a dive site or a dive center I want to work with, it shows me the dive sites they are diving at and which wildlife I can see. So I can plan my diving ahead. So now what I encourage everybody out there to do is go on My Dive Guide, check it out. It's such a great feature. Also for if you are a dive center, you can connect all your dive sites and you can connect the marine life, which will bring you those people in that are looking for the specialty wildlife in your area. Or maybe I'm looking for a dive center in a certain area. I'm looking for it where I am now, or maybe you are currently in the Philippines, or maybe you are in Singapore, and you're looking for dive centers around you. Our dive center locator that works also on our app really great. So on our app, if you go into the app and you are anywhere in the world, you can literally open up the map and find the closest dive centers near you. This is such a great tool also for dive centers to market themselves, but also for us as users. For us to make it so easy to find dive centers that are all accredited SSI dive centers. They have been checked by our service center employees. So they are actual dive centers. It's not just something that maybe somebody put on TripAdvisor or something that has not been 100% checked. So we have controlled all of these dive centers and put them here. The same with the dive sites. And because our app has this feature that we've had it since the start, but we've been constantly improving it. And we have a wildlife feature on it now. This is our logbook. Everybody out there can download our app again. It's completely free and you can use our digital logbook completely for free, which is an amazing feature because you can use it for free. You don't have to pay anything. And it's an amazing logbook where you can find details to all of these dive sites that are in the system. So we have more than 4,000 dive sites with description in our system already, and we have the potential for more than 12,000. So we already have their location, we already have their general depth and information. We just don't have the full wildlife information yet. But if I go on a dive trip to the Philippines and I find an amazing dive site, or if I go to Simonstown Boulders, like it's here, that dive site, I can log my dive there and I can tag exactly what I've seen, which is great because the app then shows you pictures of those animals. It gives you all these visuals that you can connect to it. And the amazing part of that is that we collect a lot of data and we can make it more and more sure to show you exactly what month of the year, which marine life is at what place. So we really collect so much data to really make it the most sophisticated dive site database out there. So this is probably the coolest feature when you think about my dive guide. And I want you all to just go in there now, click on my dive guide. You can also go by destination. So if I go back now, takes a bit to load. You always have featured destinations here. You can say the United States. You can see if it goes further along here, we have Japan, we have the Cayman Islands. If I just click here and I say my next holidays should be in the Cayman Islands, I can find a whole lot of information on the Cayman Islands, but I can also find different dive sites. I can find dive centers, and I can find exactly what I need. So planning your next holiday is going to be so much easier. It's going to be so much more fun with all these visuals to plan your next holiday. And I very much encourage everybody that's watching, every diver out there, think about planning your holidays now, because the dive industry is really trying to survive. You can book holidays or you can book vouchers with a lot of dive centers. I know a lot of SSI dive centers also, they allow you to pre-book now or give you flexible dates. They allow you to book vouchers for dives in a future time. So they can survive now and dive with you later. So that is very much this to my dive guide. There's so many more features, and these features are also great because basically what we do is we bring more traffic to the dive centers websites, to the dive centers landing pages on our site here. So even if it's just really easy for every SSI dive center to create their own destination, to create their own marketing on our website in very easy ways. So you don't have to be a programmer or anything to understand it. Okay, I think that's pretty much it to my dive guide. There's a lot more to check out on our website. You can read all about the ecology programs that are completely doable from home right now. You can find your dive center close to you, get in touch with them. Maybe you cannot afford to do a course right now. That's absolutely okay. I know most of our dive centers have a lot of things that they do. They do like evenings where you just can have a drink with them to socialize a bit. So even if you can't afford to do a course right now, I know most of our dive centers have something else to offer you, even if you can't pay. Okay, I'm going to stop my screen share now. And Noya, you on mute.
Thank you so much, Corinna. Thank you so much, JC. Truly a very informative and insightful presentation. You actually make me want to go and do diving and actually plan for that trip ASAP. We do have some questions. All right, just give me a moment. Okay, since COVID-19 situation is not something that is clearly certain when it will actually end, what is a good lead time for someone to actually plan for a dive vacation? What would be your advice?
Wait, I can take that. So it's really difficult to do times anyway now. I mean, some countries are already kind of informed when they can open back up. Other countries have no idea at all, especially when diving can open back up and what exactly you have to do. I mean, we have these documents that came out from the RSTC, from Dan, SSI, PADI, everybody worked together for the documents to come out, what you have to do when you can open back up. What I suggest now is contact the dive centers directly, find out what they say, find out what they know from their local government, but also maybe just book the voucher now or book something that is not set with a date. A lot of them, like I said, let you book just a room for the set price, and then you can use it whenever it is back open. So maybe don't put a fixed date on it just yet, because we really cannot say.
I think it depends also very much from where you are. In Europe, for example, they start to communicate that the airlines are going to start really flying again in June. So depending on the opening of the borders, this can change immediately. Like in France, they can start to dive this weekend, for example.
That's fantastic, though. Another question. Okay. For a dive center, if they would like to know more on how to go about onboarding the digital transformation, how would SSI actually advise him to go about on through this process?
I didn't understand that one. Sorry.
Okay. So this gentleman is asking if he would like to be more aggressive with his digital approach in marketing, perhaps as a dive center. How could he go about going through that with SSI? Is there any courses or webinar that he can be upgraded?
Yes, I think we have this definitely this program that I presented before, the Digital U, where we have recorded everything in different languages as well. So he would just have to contact us, or contact, depending on the region that he is, he would have to contact our local service center. And we would be able to provide him all this education. This education is for free. We do not charge nothing to the training centers. We have so many recorded sessions, but we can also invite this gentleman to be participating live in our webinars.
There's another last question. Okay, this is a bit leisurely. So JC and also Corinna, once this COVID-19 travel restriction is lifted, where is your next dive vacation?
Corinna?
I will actually stay within the country. I'm going to Sodwana Bay. I've been doing webinars for South Africa, and we have this one guy who's constantly coming on, and he's telling us about the amazing wildlife there. I'm going to Sodwana Bay and to Durban. So much diving.
So now I have to be careful. A week ago, I said I would go first to Egypt because it's a long time I have not been going there, and that's not so far from Europe the moment they would open. But this depends on the opening. To be honest, I have tickets to Asia that are on hold. I got the voucher, so basically they are paid. I can fly to any country in Asia right now. The moment I can be sure that I'm not in quarantine. So many places are definitely on my list. So and honestly, I need a holiday.
I do.
Yeah, I think we've all been working a lot more now than before, we've been saying.
Absolutely.
I do so agree. Okay, thank you so much, both of you, JC and also Corinna, for your time to share with us a very wonderful presentation about SSI and how SSI actually could provide in terms of situations such as this, and even beyond COVID-19. So I would like you to invite, if there's any words that you want to share with the edX community, please, JC.
I think it's always a pleasure to be supporting edX. We did it in China, we did it in Singapore, and I think it's, as I said at the beginning, it's a real pleasure to be able to participate in such events, to keep the community together. And edX has always been very innovative in the way they would provide events, they would provide the opportunities to talk to between, let's say, the professionals, but also to the diving and non-diving community. So anytime again, we are always coming here with pleasure.
Thank you, JC. Corinna?
Yeah, also I want to thank you, edX, for putting all this together. It's obviously also a lot of work to run it online, and I think it's really well and really forward-thinking that you're doing all that. The only sad thing, I'm missing all my edX friends, of course. It's sad because usually you have that once a year where you go to ADEX and you meet everybody again. Missing that this year a little bit, but hopefully again next year. Hopefully.
Actually, we were supposed to be here, I think, next week, or the tickets is in my office.
Well, we really do look forward to meet everyone again real soon. So thank you once again. We hope to catch up, maybe, I don't know, in another country, perhaps in China or maybe in India. I'm not too sure. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Mermaid Federation International is dedicated to promote mermaid activities, develop mermaid safety standard, and raise ocean conservation awareness. MFI has 4 missions: raise awareness to the ocean conservation, promote mermaid activities and certification system, research and advise safety guidance, and develop scientific mermaid training and technical standards. MFI is an organization for all the mermaids in the world with members from various countries. MFI development includes mermaid performance, mermaid instructors, and mermaid development center. MFI education system include 4 major courses: M0 Mermaid Experience, M1 Basic Mermaid, M2 Advanced Mermaid, M3 Master Mermaid.